Hello everybody. Hello. Can you hear me? Can you see me? So in our chat, I'd appreciate if you could say if my mic working is fine. If you just type if my mic's working fine, please let me know. And today what we're going to be doing another session of Python for Finance. This time, what I want to show you how to use Yahoo Finance, very powerful Python endpoint for working with finance. All right. So again, in our channel, please let me know if you could hear me. I just want to make sure that everything is working fine. Really appreciate that, and because I'm not sure if my mic's working. Should be working. All right, anyway, so my name is Art Yudin, and this is my channel, RoboticView. So I teach Python, and I've been teaching Python for quite some time. And as a matter of fact, I wrote a couple of books about Python. So the recent one is Basic Python for Data Management, Finance, and Marketing. Also, I do a lot of web development. And if you like to join our next free course, please visit our website, RoboticView. So for example, on October 20th, we're doing Python for Data Science 101, so it's also going to be free. All you have to do is to sign up for this course. All you have to do is sign up for this course. It's going to be on October 20th, 6 p.m. Also, if you're really interested in how to work with APIs and how to gather data, I would recommend you to attend our workshops. So for example, we got really cool workshop coming, Python for web scraping. So this one's going to be on October 24th. And we're going to teach you how to use very powerful libraries such as Beautiful Soup and Selenium to scrape data from websites. So we're going to take a couple of, and so it's going to be like a really good tutorial. We're going to take a couple of like really cool websites such as YouTube and something like really popular, and then we will scrape them. So that's what we're going to be doing here. Also, another workshop is Python for API. If you're interested in how to use other APIs to gather financial data, such as Alpha Vantage and other sources of financial information. So this one we're doing on October 19th. I believe there is going to be what, this Thursday, yeah. So this one's going to be cool. So please join us, all right? Now what we're going to be doing today, we will talk about Yahoo Finance, very popular API. And it's free, so I'm going to show you how to use it. By the way, if you want to follow my code, in the description to this video, you'll find link to this file. So I decided to actually create an example. So today we will walk through this example, and I'll explain you everything that I have in my file. But the original file you can find on our website, roboticview.com, and the link you can find in the description to this YouTube video. All right, so it's actually there. All right, so let's get started and talk about Yahoo Finance. So first of all, Yahoo Finance is an API, but they don't provide like plain vanilla API. So they provide a couple of wrappers. Like wrapper is a small program that help you to deal with API. And as far as I know, there are two very popular ones, Yahoo Finance and Yahoo Finance, right? So first thing first, you need to install that library. So here I'm using Anaconda Jupyter. So Anaconda is a free package, you could download it. Also, you could do the same code pretty much in Google Colab, but you need to install it. So first you run in this cell, pip install, then you need to comment this out, and then you need to install the other library. So we'll try 2 different libraries today. So also called Yahoo Finance, but slightly different. Like frankly, I haven't used this one very often. I guess I also learned something new today. Now this, the other one, Yahoo Finance with _fin, sometimes might require requests HTML. So just in case, run it and install it too. All right, so just in case, because it depends. I know that it's included in Anaconda package, but the reason why I still run it here, because some of you might be running this code in a Google Colab, and then you would need to install it separately. And all right, so I see people joining us. So if you want to follow me in the real time, in the description under this video, please find the link to this file so you could download the file, you could work with this file. And also please subscribe to our channel and like this video so other people could see it. All right, so now first thing first, we need to do imports. So usually Yahoo Finance you import as YF. That's convention. People would ask me, what YF? YF is just a variable. You could import it as banana, but documentation recommend to use YF. But technically, you could use any variable name, and you could actually import it as Yahoo Finance. So now the other one we import as SI because it comes with the module stock info. So SY means module SY. Then, because we're planning to do some stock analysis today, I will import very popular library pandas as PD and NumPy as NP. Matplotlib, major core Python library for data visualization. And in Python, we have built-in module datetime. So datetime, we need to create datetime objects. Yeah, and I'm sorry that I sound like a broken record, but if people just join us and if you want to follow me in the real time, you'll find this file I'm working on in the description to this video. Please sign up for our channel and check out our website, RoboticView. All right, so let's do some work. So I decided to fetch information for very popular stock, Apple. Everybody loves it, so let's see what's going on. So I like to make my code versatile, and that's why I want to assign this stock symbol to a variable named stock, because later I might want to use some other stock, and then I could actually change symbol right here, not to mess with the ticker. So let me show you what's going on here. Now let me explain you the main concept. So we imported Yahoo Finance. So Yahoo Finance is a module, and if you want to see all the commands, so suppose you grab some library that you've never seen before, and you want to see all the commands, so the first thing you need to do, you need to run Python built-in function dir. So that's what I usually do. Like sometimes I have a library I've never worked before, so I would run dir, and then I immediately see all attributes of this object. I immediately see all attributes of this object. And you see here we got ticker and tickers. So what's the difference? Obviously ticker is just for one stock, tickers would be for many stocks, all right? So always run dir, and the principle it actually works. So here, if you want to get information about the stock, which is Apple in this case, we pass stock here into this function, and we run it, and the result I'm saving with a new variable Apple. All right, cool. Now, if you're not sure what to do next, again, and again, run dir. Run dir, and then immediately you see all available methods / attributes for this particular object. All right. Now first we see dunder methods or private methods. Why people call them dunder methods? Because you see most of them got double underscore, double underscore, so people lazy to say double. So then we call them dunder methods. So we will pass those. And then you could see that there are tons of attributes with tons of information. Now let's take a closer look here. So here we got things like get cash flow, get dividends, get earnings, earnings forecasts, like calendar of all major events like stock splits and earnings announcements and everything. So you could find it here. And this is like really helpful because if you have no idea how to get information, that's where you should start. Now I want to start with the basic info. All right, so how do I know that there is basic info? You do object, which is our variable name Apple, place period here, and then you press tab. So if you're using Jupyter, what I'm using here, you could, instead of running function dir, you could place period there, just press tab, and then you see all the stuff here, right? And then you got fast info and some other stuff. So I decided to go with basic info. Now basic info comes as a dictionary. And if you know Python, and I hope that you know Python, you know that dictionary is one of the major built-in data types in Python. And it's very popular pretty much in any programming language. So basically what you want to do when you see this, you want to run immediately keys. You want to run method keys so you could see all the keys. And you see it gets you all the keys. And then since you know how to work with the dictionary, so then you could get last price, for example. So last price would be the key. By the way, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, like in terms of dictionary and everything, please visit our website, roboticview.com. So there you could attend our free courses, all right, where we teach Python from scratch. And you see last price gets us last price, you see? So you could get other information, again, keys, and then you're going to get the keys. And let's say I want to see like open price or day low, day high. And here a high maybe, all right? So then again, I could get it as a key from the dictionary. So square brackets would be dictionary annotation, all right? Now then here we could get basic price, last price, that's what we just did. Also here they got 50-day moving average. And if you're in finance, you know that that's very important measurement when you do technical analysis, so you could get that information too. And then you could see how far stock price from 50-day moving average, you see, like it's on the 50-day moving average. That's not a good thing. So then get financials. Now in this case we get financials right from Apple, because now again you could place period dir, and then you'll see all these methods that could get you information, right? So get financials, and get financials you need to call this method with parentheses, and that will get you really cool information that comes from annual reports, that comes from so I believe this would be annual, right? Because we got 2020, 2021, 2022, right? So what we got here, very important financial information like EBITDA, interest income, other income, expenses. So if you're in fundamental analysis, that would be the way to start, right? So you could use this information for fundamental analysis. So that's what you could find here. You see gross profit, cost of revenue, so you could see total revenue and all this kind of stuff. So I like to visualize my data, so that's why I like to use matplotlib. Now matplotlib, again, if you don't know and if you use Jupyter, so here you can find links to all major Python libraries. So matplotlib would be one of them, and matplotlib is a core Python library for data visualization. So it's, I don't want to say very easy to use, but it's not difficult to use. So we actually teach this how to visualize data in our courses. And this Thursday, October 20th, you could take Python for Data Science 101. So you could see how to use that stuff. So here we got a bunch of different examples. I'll use a couple of them today. And also in matplotlib, we got different styles already preset here. So that's what I'm using here. So I'm using style ggplot with all these grids and everything. And then just to make it a little bit more cleaner, I assign that Apple get financials to financials, so it will be a little bit cleaner. And I'm using PLT plot. So PLT plot again comes from matplotlib. Let me remind you that here we imported matplotlib as PLT, and plot is a simple function that requires x and y coordinates to plot this data. So as my x, I will use index, because financials, let's take a brief look at financials. So financials here, hope I'm spelling this right. No, I'm not spelling this right. So let me copy this. And yeah, I'm a bad speller, all right. So financials, we didn't define it, all right. So let me run this. So financials, pretty much our data frame, and data frame got to attributes, to major attributes. Index, so that's what I'm using here. You see I'm doing financials log, and if you use log, so log stands for location, and here you could pass what you want to grab, so EBITDA. So you see, we could grab that EBITDA, and this EBITDA will be coming as a series in another major data structure in pandas, and then you could do index, and then it will get you just index, just dates. So that's what I'm using here on x-axis. So that's what's going on here. And here for actual values, I use values. And you see here we get an array, NumPy array of numbers. So I actually use that here for my y values. And I use marker also to have these bold dots here, all right? Now x ticks here is kind of cool thing. You see rotation 45. Rotation 45 means angle. So because otherwise, if I don't do this one, so they will be overlapping. You see, they will be overlapping, so it's not nice. So that's why little trick that you could use rotation 45. And you see, now they kind of pivoted a little bit, so it's much easier to read. So then here we got title. So then we got stock, so we want to make it kind of versatile. So if later you grab another stock, you could change this title to, I don't know, IBM, EBITDA, or Microsoft EBITDA, whatever. And we could plot this, so it's much easier to visualize that EBITDA is going, what? It's going up. So yeah, so if you're a shareholder of Apple, you should be happy about it, all right? So we could visualize data. Now, what else can we squeeze out of financials? Revenue. Revenue is very important, so I could actually grab cost of revenue, and total revenue. So then I want to like kind of, so they got that what in trillions or billions, so I want to convert this to billions, and that's why I do this operation. So let's take a look at revenue. Let's take a look at revenue. So revenue in this case, and if you're not sure what's going on, you should always run type. And type tells us that that's a data frame. And if you remember, that data frame is two-dimensional. Data structure in pandas. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, you definitely should attend our free course, Python for Data Science 101, and the nearest one would be this Thursday. Otherwise, check our website because we're always running free Python courses. So I don't want to have dates here on top. So what I want to do, I want to pivot it. And what is two-dimensional data frame? It matrix. So what I could do, I could use T, and T stands for transpose, and we could pivot it, and now you see my cost and revenue and total revenue. These would be column names. So I got this, and then I could actually plot this data. Because if you want to do some analysis, now where this coming from? How do you learn how to do something like this? This is not that difficult. You got two options. First, you could go to documentation, and honestly, I kind of used this example in Matplotlib for my data visualization, or we teach you how to do this stuff in our courses, Python Data Science Intensive. And here we could plot cost of revenue versus total revenue. So you see, that's kind of cool. So you could compare these two. So obviously you want to see that total revenue should be higher than cost of revenue. That's the whole idea behind running business. And again, what we could see, that total revenue is going up and up. So 2020, 2021, 2022. So Apple's doing okay. Now, what else can we get out of that Yahoo Finance API? So you could run get info, and that's kind of cool method. And again, whatever you're going to get from there will be coming in form of a dictionary. So then, every time you see dictionary, you want to run keys, so then you could see all the dictionary. And here, again, depends what you're trying to do, but you could get different information. You could get something as address and some basic information. And you could even get information about company officers, you see? Now, so if your fundamental analysis includes things like management, so you can find that information there. And you could actually get this. And here they got all the major ratios. So if you're into ratios, if you want to see total debt, quick ratio, free cash flow, and everything, so you can find that stuff there. Revenue growth, you see, everything is here, whatever you want to use. So let me show you a couple of them. So the first one, and you see here, I created new variable name just to make it a little bit cleaner. So Apple_info. So for example, if you're into liquidity ratio, you could see short ratio. If you want to see how volatile your stock is, you could use beta. Let me remind you that beta is a major volatility index. So if we assume that S&P 500 got beta of 1, so beta 1.3 makes Apple a little bit more volatile than S&P 500. Otherwise, we would expect Apple move pretty much along with S&P 500. Also, we got price earning ratio, right? Percentage growth rate. It's not a growing stock, so it's just growing little by little. If you want to make a phone call to Apple, you could get a phone number here, you see. So you can find a bunch of different information. Now, I also find useful to get business summary, especially for stocks that I don't know, because sometimes you're doing some research and bam, you see some kind of company, you've never heard about it, and then you could just fetch a business summary so you could read a little bit about that company, what business are they in. Now options, that's like really, really cool. So in Yahoo Finance, you could also get options. All you have to do is to use this function, option chain. Now let's take a look what we got here. So here it comes as a tuple, and we could run len on that tuple, and it returns us 3. So it means 3 items in the tuple. So tuple is a mutable list, and you could index it, right? So if you index by the first one 0, so in this tuple, first item is a data frame, and that data frame contains information about calls, you see? So here they got calls. So second one, which would be index 1, will get you information about puts, also comes as a data frame. So what I decided to do, just to make it a little bit cleaner, I decided to split it between calls and puts. And I have assigned first item to calls and the other one to puts. Now, I don't want to see all information about all striking prices, right? Because that's going to be too much. So I want to see something that would be close, to last price. So here I just compiled a little example how you could do it. So you could get last price, which is okay, so that's old one, so which one, $177, right? And then I filter calls against this price, and I want to slice first 5 rows. So that's what I'm doing, right? So then I want to get next that would be under that closing price, and again I'm slicing next 5 items. So then I just concatenate these two. And these excuse me, colon minus 1, I'm flipping it, and what I'm getting here, I'm getting new data frame concatenated, and let's take a look. So we know that the closing price as of today, 177. So then you see I'm getting 5 calls that would be above that price and 5 calls under that price, all right? So that makes your analysis a little bit later, a little bit easier, and you could actually filter that data, and now you got data frame you could work with. For example, I really like buy or sell puts with a lot of liquidity. So in this case, I got enlarged, and enlarged is Panda's method that here you could provide number of rows and then values, largest values in a certain column. So in this case, I want to go by open interest. So then here I will get 3 calls with the largest open interest. Also, you could go by implied volatility. Again, it all depends on what you're doing and what you're trying to analyze. By the way, legal disclaimer, please do not take this video as investment advice, all right? So I'm not giving any investment advices, and Apple stock was picked just by randomly picked, all right? So now I'm not asking you to invest in anything. All right, now another thing, how we could get many stocks. Now you probably know that one of the things that you want to do when you're trying to invest in the industry would be to see price earning ratio. So this is how you could actually This is how you could actually evaluate stocks and see which company would be more expensive and less expensive and so on. So what I decided here, I actually provided that link from the file, but you can find your file yourself. So there is a very cool website, Sector SPDR. Sector SPDR. So this website, Sector SPDR, so what they did, they actually took S&P 500 and they split it by sectors. So they provide ETFs, and if you want to get information about XLE, so I believe that would be technology, no, energy. Okay, so what I'm using here, XLK, I'm sorry, XLK, so it would be technology. So here, if you go to holdings, you'll find the information about all major companies in the tech industry, and you could download this information as a CSV file or as Excel file. So that's exactly what I did, and I actually placed it on my server so you could give it a try and you could read it. So this is kind of old information, but I don't care about this information. I just want to get the symbols. I just want to get the symbols, so that gets me a data frame. And then here, what I'm doing, I'm slicing the column, and I take all the symbols, Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, and so on, and convert them to list. So then I want to fetch information about all these stocks. So remember, at the beginning, we were using function ticker. Now, function ticker gets you fundamental information about one stock at a time. But I want to hit, I don't remember how many stocks here, 70 or something like that. So then what I decided to do, I'm using for loop to iterate through that list and get information for company by company. Sometimes things might go wrong, so maybe some data is missing, or maybe server is not responding, or something might go wrong. So that's why when you work with APIs, I usually prefer to use try and accept. So I don't want it to throw me an error, so I'm saying, hey, try this. So get info and get me price earning ratio. Get me price earning ratio. And then here I created a list, and I'm actually appending all that information that I'm getting from the server to my new list. And this information comes as a bunch of tuples, right? So here each tuple got stock symbol and the price earning ratio for all stocks in the sector. That's kind of cool. So then I want to analyze it and I want to visualize it. So what I did next, I created data frame, passed that data. So let me run let me run everything from here. I want to run everything from here just to update this little bit. You see, it takes some time because it's a server, so it's actually fetched these recent values. And that's what we got here. You see, that's what we got here. Now, if you want to do quick analysis, you could actually slice that column and you could do describe. Describe's kind of cool function that will get you statistical measures for numeric values in the column. So I immediately see that talking about industry, that mean would be 40, so quite high price earning ratio, but max is a lot, 204, all right? And here I could see standard deviation, and I see that there are some cheap stocks available around 8, about price earning ratio of 8. So then to kind of visualize that data, what I could do, I could plot this data as scatter. And then also here as horizontal line, I plot this mean average, and it immediately gives me a picture. So I see that what Palo Alto, I believe that would be Palo Alto, got unbelievable price earning ratio. Oh boy, 204, that's a lot, right? Then I could see that our old friend Cisco, that was a high flyer in 2000, got pretty modest comparing to other stocks in this sector price earning ratio, right? And again, I could see this waterline, this average, and you see that helps me to visualize this data. So if you're planning to buy some stocks, let's say in some particular sector, so you could immediately see all this data, you could plot this data, that's kind of helpful. So another option how we could get information for many stocks would be to use, remember the other library that we imported, it also connects to Yahoo Finance API, was Yahoo_Fin with the stock information. So here I could get pretty much same information because information comes from the same source, that's just slightly different library. And then here I'm getting this Apple valuation, so I want to see what's going on with Apple, and it returns me this data frame. And this information, you see, this is quarterly data. So here we got market cap, enterprise value, trailing price earning ratio, forward price earning ratio, price to book, all this information, right? Now, and you could actually see this valuation for Apple. Now, the first column is unnamed 0. Honestly, I don't like that name. So here what I do, I rename that column using pandas function rename, and here you need to pass this information as a dictionary, and as you remember, dictionary got key and values, so unnamed 0, which is old column name, would be the key, and ratios would be my new column name. Also here I use in place. If you don't know, we need to use in place to save the changes in place. Again, I explain all this stuff slowly in details in our course called Python Data Science Intensive. All we do is we learn how to gather information from different sources, how to manipulate data using pandas and data frame, and how to analyze this data. So, and then you see what I actually did, I renamed that column, all right? But what if I want to get this information for bunch of stocks, right? Because you always want to compare this information. I mean, you could compare quarter to quarter, that's okay, but I think it would be also useful to compare information for different stocks. So then here you could fetch information for all tickers in Dow, and I believe there should be 30 of them. So that information comes as a list. You see there are 30 companies, and for each company in this list I want to get pretty much same information as here. So what I decided to do, I created a data frame, and I created the first column ratios, and then I'm using the for loop to iterate through this list of symbols and fetch valuation, statistical valuation for every company. Then I grab first column because I don't want to get all of them, I just want to get the first one, and I append that information to that data frame. So that's what I'm doing here. It might take some time because keep in mind we got 30 stocks, right? And basically what's going on under the hood when you run an operation like this, your Python get in touch, it sends request to server, server sends response, and bam, now you see we got this number, so everything is done. So then I wanna, let me see what we got so far. So that's my new data frame with statistical data, you see? So we got that data for all companies. and that column ratios, yeah, that's kind of cool, but I prefer to use that ratios as index, because you see here we got this numerical index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it would be cool if I use those values as my index. So what I'm doing here, I just reassign the index. So now take a look how it looks now, So now I got ratios here as index and ratios here as a column. So the reason why Pandas prints this on 2 different levels, simply because Pandas trying to tell you that these ratios would be the index and these ratios would be the column, 2 different animals, right? So then I could use again our method transpose just to pivot it, because I prefer to use stock symbols as index now. So it will be easy. Again, that's just for me. I'm not saying that you should be doing this way. It all depends what you're trying to do. But my goal here is just to show you how to manipulate data. So here you see I pivoted that data frame. So now this what used to be column names is my index and my index column names. But now it's a little bit confusing because I still got that old column ratios. I don't need it, so I will drop this. So at the end of the day, I got this clean, cool data frame that contains information for all 30 Dow companies with all these valuation statistics. All right, so now we could compare apples to apples. All right, so that's kind of cool. So then here, so for example, if I want to see market cap, let me show you something. So here we got market cap. Now there is one problem with that. You see, some companies got valuation as high as trillions. You see, they got trillions here. I believe Microsoft should have valuation, yeah, also trillion. But some other companies got valuation in billion. So it's difficult to compare apples to oranges. So we need to convert everything to billions. But how we're going to do it, because first of all, we cannot convert this. And by the way, let me show you something really quick. So keep in mind that although these look like numbers, as a matter of fact, they're not numeric data types. So in Python, that's very important. So if you're not sure what's going on, you could do d-type, and that it will return you. This is not 0, this is not 0, this is O. O stands for object. Most of the time that would mean that values here strings. And if I'm planning to do some math, some data analysis, I need to convert them to numeric data types. So how I'm going to do it? Now the problem is I cannot just convert them to integers or floats, because here you see I got this letter as T and B. So what I came up with, I decided to use method apply. So what apply does, if you're not sure, you could always run help, and you see apply is a function along axis. So instead of function, I created lambda. And that's exactly what we teach in our courses, how to use lambda, how to clean data, how to analyze stuff. Because sometimes people say, I don't use lambda. Why? Because it's too complicated. It's not complicated if lambda properly explained and if you practice it with us. So lambda is anonymous function, means function with no name, right? And here I defined x, and that x would be each value from that column. And here, so if that value contains t, so then I want to get rid of that t. I want to use string method strip to clean that data, multiply it by 1,000 to convert it to billion, and then convert it to float. So if a number already in billion, so I just want to get rid of billion and convert it to float. So no need to no need to multiply it here. And then if you run this, so at the end of the day, you see, I decided to create new column. So this is my old column market cap, and I created new column market cap with clean data. So I specifically decide to create another column so you could see the difference. You could see the difference. So you see, like technically looks the same. However, this one would be numerical data types. That's crucial for data analysis. All right, so let's move on. And now here, if you're curious, we could actually plot this data. Now wait a minute, where is Apple? Apple is missing. Why Apple is missing? Because here I'm using PLT-Y limit. Let me comment it out and let me show you what it does. So you see some companies such as Microsoft and Apple, they got like really high valuation comparing to all other companies. So we could leave it at that, and this is totally fine. But if you want to kind of zoom in into the picture, what you could do, you could say, hey, I want to kind of zoom in, and I want to set Y limit from 0 up to 600 billion, you see? So that's what you're doing, and now you could kind of zoom in into the data, and without those giants, you could actually compare data. All right. Another thing that I want to show you what you could do in terms of technical analysis. Now, again, I created a small portfolio, a couple of tech stocks, Apple, Microsoft, IBM. And if you wanna do some plotting, if you want to see some data, so then what you could do, you could actually, using Yahoo Finance, download historic prices. Now that's exactly why at the beginning of the file I have imported daytime module. So daytime got this method today that returns today data. So let me update this, and you see it says 2023 October 17th, and right now it's 6:47. All right, so you see, like real time. So then here, when you use download, you need to provide range in which you want to get data, like kind of beginning of your data set and till what date you want to get that range. So I decided to go with 2020, and I know that 1st of January stocks no trade because that's a new year. But yeah, so you see, that's why when I run this, and again it might take some time. So you see, in the first date you're going to see here would be 2nd of January, but that's okay. And then here we get the data. Now, you see, it actually returns me information for all the stocks and for all 3 stocks. Now, if you don't know, adjusted close and close, that's what they use in Yahoo. Adjusted close would be more precise price, because you see here we got 73, here we got 75. Adjusted close means adjusted for splits, dividends, and that kind of stuff. So that's the only price I care about. I don't care about high, low, and so on for now. So I'm gonna slice it, and I'm slicing it, and I'm using method copy. Method copy is very important, because the way pandas work, when you work on a data frame, although you're slicing and filtering, you still zooming in into original. If you want to make sure that the object will be totally separate object, not related to the original data, because you don't want to screw up your original data, you need to use method copy, which will make sure that this will be totally separate object. Next thing I usually do, I want to run info, and I want to see what's under the hood in my data frame. And fortunately for me, all these values would be floats, you see. So now I could do some plotting and maybe some further data analysis. So then here we got index, and index I want to make sure that it's also daytime object, because you see sometimes you might see these dates that would look like dates, but they will be strings. And that's very important. I want to make sure that this is datetime object. And then I want to compare prices, but I cannot compare them because you see some stock might be $200, the other stock might be $20. It's hard to compare. So what I'm doing here, I want to normalize my data and convert it into percentages, you see? And then I assume that at the beginning of this data set, all stocks, they started at 100%. Then they dropped and lose 25% of data, and then they went up. And now I see that Apple would be clearly a winner comparing to IBM and Microsoft, all right? So this is how you could actually compare, again, apples to apples by normalizing data. Another thing that you could do, you could actually slice just Apple, that was going on here, and then you could calculate moving average by using rolling. So rolling will be creating this 10-day moving average. So since each row represents a day, 10 would mean 10-day moving average, and mean would be aggregation method for average, right? So we could calculate moving average, and then since moving average will kick in on day 10, so you see I'm getting a bunch of nones. So in pandas, none stands for not a number, means nothing. So I will drop them because I don't need them. Also here I want to filter and find the max price for Apple in that time period and the mean price. And here we plot this data, and again I'm using matplotlib, pretty much everything the same. So I'm using plt plot to plot line, and also I'm using again plot to plot moving average, right? And I'm using function scatter to plot, you see here I'm plotting lowest price for that period of time here. So, and then the star on top as the highest price for that year. So that's usually how you could visualize if you got like algorithmic trading strategy and you want to analyze and maybe you want to plot some signals on your plot. So pretty much this is how you could do, right? And we got all whistles and bells. I got title, I got price, Y label, X label. So this is pretty much what you could do. Now again, if some of this stuff is new for you and you want to learn how to do the stuff, I would definitely recommend you to go to our website roboticview.com, because here we have free classes. For example, this Thursday we're doing Python for Data Science 101. So if you want to learn a little bit more about pandas, that would be the way to start. And then we got courses such as Python Data Science Intensive and Machine Learning. So in Machine Learning, we'll learn algorithms and that you could actually apply to finance, try to predict stock movements, and also it would be really helpful to do some analysis, try to predict revenue and create scenarios. So here in Python Data Science Intensive, we teach in 24 hours. You learn how to do that stuff from scratch. If you just would like to do more gathering information, then please check out our Python for web scraping workshop. So in this workshop, again, we scrape data from websites without using APIs, using libraries such as Beautiful Soup and Selenium. So that's like my favorite course. And then also here, if you want to use some other financial APIs, such as Alpha Vantage and some other APIs, or maybe you have Bloomberg, I don't know, so maybe you use it for work and you would like to know how you could actually use Python to get some data from Bloomberg so you could do some data analysis and data manipulation. So this would be workshop for you. All right, so how we're doing? We got a couple of minutes left. Let me know if you have any questions. We have our live chats going on, so if you have any questions, I could answer them in real time. Also, please subscribe to our channel because we're doing these live streams pretty much every other week, and we're going to do more of financial stuff, such as I'm going to show you how to use Python for risk management, portfolio management. We're going to talk about modern portfolio theory by Markowitz, and how you could use Python to balance your portfolio, how you could actually use Python for value at risk, and so on. All right, so please let me know if you have any questions. Please like this video if you liked it, and please subscribe to our channel. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Okay, it's great. So again, if you just join us and you have no idea where to find this file, so please go to this description of this video. There in the description you'll find the link to our website and to this file, so you could grab that file and you could actually go step by step at your own pace and see what's going on here. All right, so thank you for watching us. Again, if you have questions, go to roboticview.com and subscribe to our channel, because we're going to do more of live streams like these where you could actually ask questions. All right.